Let's talk to Tim Harrison. He's the Head of Wealth Management at Linear Investments. Very good morning to you, young Tim.
Good morning.
Right, the week ahead, what's going on?
We're starting the week with snow in the air, but it would appear that the markets are brushing it off. Markets slightly higher this morning, just following on from the US close on Friday. So it's going to be a busy week, to be quite frank with you. There's a lot of economic data, manufacturing PMI, GDP figures from the US, and more importantly, I suppose, Jerome Powell's first semi-annual statement to Congress.
Yep.
So in terms of the US, there's a lot going on out there. Over here, closer to home, we've got a couple of companies reporting to keep an eye on. Equifax, Capita, and Provident Financial, all reporting this week. Obviously, the latter two all three have been hammered of late. Capita and Provident, obviously, very, very much talked about by the press as core staples of Mr. Woodford's funds. So it's going to be a busy week on the earnings front, but whether it's light at the end of the tunnel for those companies or not remains to be seen.
And obviously, one of his stocks, AA, got whacked last week.
Yeah, I mean, again, if you look at the obviously past performance and historics behind companies listing, it's always interesting when a private equity company brings a company to the market. Generally speaking, or historically, they are sometimes sort of bid up, if you like, and excitement is overhyped, grabs in the investors, and then it turns out that once you strip away, there is a few inherent problems. Obviously, AA as a company has had a number of issues, forcing the management out, etc. And again, it is a big staple of the Woodford portfolio, along with, as I mentioned earlier, the Capitas, the Providence. So it'll be another interesting week for Woodford funds, but more importantly, for investors, there seems to be a bit of buying appetite. The banks reporting last week, by and large, were reasonably strong sets of figures. So hopefully, one would suggest we could see a maintenance of this mini bull market that we're in.
Right. Have you got an eye on politics at all back at home in terms of Labour, Conservative, Brexit?
Well, again, this whole debate, until we actually Brexit, until we actually exit, it's going to continue to rumble along as to whether or not we're doing the right thing, the wrong thing, whether or not we should force another general election, which will put everything up in the air and in the mix. Corbyn seems to be getting a bit of attention, and then something happens which causes the attention to be dragged back. So again, it's a bit of a melee. I personally am of the view that let's just get on with it. We've got a lot more problems to focus on, or issues to focus on closer to home in terms of the economic state, in terms of the NHS, etc., which we need to be focusing on, as opposed to a bit of airy-fairy nonsense between the Labour Party and the Conservatives.
On that note, Tim, thank you very much indeed.